Yo, what is up? The fall anime season is over. 2024 is over, and this is a tier list video. Gonna rate up all the best animes this season, S to F tier. We also have the best openings and the best waifus. Feel free to skip around because I'm gonna just talk about all the seasonal animes I've watched. There's a lot, like I think over 30 of them. So yeah, I mean, if you disagree, that's fine. Because I try to be a bit objective. I try to watch like every genre, even if it's not like directly targeted to me. But also in terms of animators, I'll have just like generic show number 1, 2, 3, and 4 every season. So yeah, that's there. But yeah, I mean, Dandadan, insane. I think everyone has agreed that that's like the best anime this season. I mean, it is crazy, fun, action, shonen-y. So yeah, it fits all those boxes. But yeah, like besides that, we had like a lot of like cool other shows, good stories like Orb. There was another Bleach season. We're getting a Blood War season every year. And after that, we had like some crazy continuations. Some delivered like ReZero, and then some were a bit awful, like Blue Lock. So yeah, let's get started. Also, Arcane won't be on here. I talked about it 3 years ago as well. But yeah, I'm very happy we had another season. It was beautiful. Best animated thing we had this season for sure. So yeah, had to mention that. And then yeah, maybe in 3 years we'll get an Arcane season 3. They'll drop another like cool 250 million on it. The first show is gonna be Dandadan on here. So yeah, I mean, obviously S tier show, one of the best animes this season in my opinion. I think like a lot of people do agree though. There was so many highs. The story as well is like very unique. I think the sexual assault is a bit unneeded, but that's also part of the story where like every fight, characters seem to be just like stripped naked. The season we have is insane. A lot of like cool characters, Turbo Granny, Seiko, like they all exist in this world. It doesn't feel like anyone's like a convenient character ham-fisted in. Also a lot of small things like, you know, the characters actually switch their outfits every episode, mainly Momo, but yeah, we see all the other characters do that too. That's crazy. All the characters are very funny. There was also a lot of peaks in just like short 12 episodes we had. Like the first episode was insane with like Okurun being like, I'm an awkward fellow after all. And then saying his name, Takakura Ken, and then the UFO exploding. Episode 4 with the like William Tell overture, the Can Can song as well. And them running, that was also insane. And then episode 7, sad backstory. Very well done. I shed some tears there. And then finally the last few episodes just like, you know, consistently landed home. So yeah, everything's just so good here. And we don't really have to wait that long for a season 2 or part 2. It's going to come next summer. Also after that, we have Bleach, the 1,000-Year Blood War. So this is part 3 of the Blood War. 14 more episodes. Insane action every year, like every season of the Blood War. The character designs go so hard. New characters, they're reintroducing old characters here as well. Ichigo finally gets like a lot of showing here because in the past few seasons he's been shelved a bit, but yeah, here he fights with Shida, loses. You know, fights with Yawatch as well. And then yeah, a lot of like crazy escalations. Since this seems to be the final arc, there's like a lot of stuff that gets explained to you now. We see like, you know, people's bankais that we haven't seen before. We see people's like lore history that kind of like contributes and helps in these fights. So yeah, organic way to kind of like give character backstories and lore while also like, you know, having insane fights. Also after that, we have Orb on the Movement of Earth. Yes, I love this anime. It was not really too flashy, but yeah, just like a good, nice story, very unique. Kind of reminds me of something like To Your Eternity, where you just like have multiple main characters that like kind of contribute throughout history. So yeah, this is like Vinland Saga with science pretty much. I think that's like a really oversimplification, but yeah, just like a good amount of talking, good amount of tension. These characters are trying to go against the church to like discover the truth. So yeah, all odds are stacked against them, which makes it like a lot more interesting to root for the good guys. Also, this is going to be 25 episodes, so the first half we have here, it's very nice, a bit sad, and yeah, I guess we'll see what's going to happen. Also, I'm not sure if this anime is like fully historically accurate, because yeah, I know like they were burning people like for being witches and stuff. Was astronomy really that bad that they had to like, you know, torture people for it? I don't know. Also after that, we have ReZero season 3, and it's not like gonna change or get better. It's gonna be like the same type of dialogue where Subaru's like very cringy. There's gonna be a shit ton of world building, but a lot of stuff just like left unexplained on purpose. So we just keep moving from one thing to another, and you know, Subaru, he dies a bit. So a lot of stuff going on, you know, like the heroes are planning stuff, fighting against the villains. And you know, I really loved Amelia this season as well. She got a lot stronger, is now fighting people, very confident. The characters are still like very anime style, a lot of like unrealistic personalities, but then they also grow and fight and get stronger. So yeah, that's cool. We have the part 2 continuation in the winter. So yeah, I mean, that's gonna be cool. But yeah, 8 episodes, very good. And finally, we have Beastars, the final season. Netflix dropped this month. So yeah, all 12 episodes, very cool. I loved it a lot, actually. It looked a lot better than season 2. I thought season 2 was like kind of like the weaker ones, but yeah, this one was beautiful. The story kind of like opens up a bit because Legoshi, he kind of left high school and is now like kind of like this main character vigilante experiencing the world. So yeah, mixed breeds kind of like play a role in this season. his relationship with Haru kind of like keeps developing, but there's still nothing there. Also, yeah, it's called the final season. It's not. There's gonna be a part 2 coming, so they baited us. But yeah, I love the season though. Like very beautiful animated wise. And that is it for S tier. So yeah, those are shows I really like this season, very high quality. And then yeah, consistent, popular, good stories. Also after that we have A tier. What's going on here? Let's put Blue Box up there. So yeah, I mean very wholesome vanilla romance show. Nothing too crazy about it. It kind of reminds me of something like Komi-san, where like the anime just like enhances the manga. It's just like done like very faithfully. There's a lot of colors and voice acting that add to it. And then yeah, like the story's like very simple, you know, high school stuff going on. There's like some twists, I guess, where the main character's crush just like moves in with him because her parents are like moving out for work. So yeah, you're living with this girl, like obviously feelings are gonna just like start forming very quickly. There's like this love triangle thing I didn't like that much, but it's something to be expected for these like high school romance shows. So yeah, they're doing that. It's a 2 core show, so there's more episodes coming out. But yeah, the first half we had was like very nice and chill. Also after that we have Ranma 1/2. You know, cool remake, Mappa working on it, but yeah, it's nice. First season I think only 12 episodes, but there's definitely going to be more. Reminds me of like the Urusei Yatsura David Productions worked on, where, you know, older series, maybe the comedy doesn't land that much, but I thought it was done very well. Where it's just like a unique, campy situation, fun story with the main couple kind of engaged, but then they hate each other. So now they're just like fighting people while also like kind of getting closer and confronting their feelings with each other. So yeah, that's going on. You know, the gimmick, the main character kind of transforms into a girl pretty much. So yeah, the comedy did age well. It's not that outdated, and I guess it's a good remake. Also after that we have Shangri-La Frontier season 2. Crazy that we're having another season this quickly. It's gonna be 2 cores as well, but you know, same quality. The stories there where they just like explain the game mechanics so much. And yeah, Sunraku's kind of like, you know, continuing his progression into this MMO. So yeah, that's nice. He's getting closer with Saiger Zero and his party. There's also other clans that he's working with to kind of like share information, since they were like the only group to actually like kill like a unique monster. So yeah, he's like doing a lot of like cool shit, getting a lot of upgrades. I think one problem this season does have so far is that nothing happens. Like literally it just like feels like them kind of playing games and explaining games a lot, but like I think towards the end we're actually fighting another unique monster, so that's crazy. But besides that, it feels like a bit stagnant, but I think it's gonna pick up later. So yeah, I mean, if you like hyper realistic game descriptions and, you know, good quality anime, this is a good continuation. Also after that we have the story of girls who couldn't be magicians. I thought this story was like very underwatched. This show, I love it a lot. Very cute, made by JC staff, and yeah, just like very colorful. A lot of like cute witches kind of like going to like their witch academy. So yeah, a lot of sad moments as our main character is kind of like confronting herself, trying to like accomplish her dreams. But yeah, it's just like a wholesome story. Quick 12 episodes. I was kind of sad because like there's no season 2 confirmation, even though it's open-ended. I want to read the manga so bad, but it's based on like this web manga that I cannot find. Can anyone find this for me? I want to read it so badly because it seems like they were cooking on the story. But yeah, we only had 12 episodes. Very cute. A lot of like culture integrated as well in the world building. So yeah, very decent, wholesome kind of fantasy witch anime. Also after that we have Is It Wrong to Pick Up Girls in a Dungeon season 5. So unfortunately there were production issues because JC staff worked on this one as well. They worked on so many shows this season. Another one was like the Do Over Damsel and 2.5D Rosa, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, basically something was bound to have like production issues. But yeah, Danmachi suffered a bit. It's not really noticeable, but yeah, episodes have been delayed. So yeah, this anime isn't finished yet. I was thinking of bumping it down a bit, but I did enjoy the season a lot. So, you know, the delays are happening at the end. It'll probably like pick up later. This season kind of like develops Freya a bit. So yeah, we're getting baited a lot. We learn more about her. And then a lot of like sad moments, a lot of gaslighting, girl bossing, and a lot of like brutal fights from Belle. So yeah, I mean, he's taking a lot of punishment every season. This is no different. I think it's like very good progression though. I love all the characters here, and you know, it's just like a cute show. And finally for A tier, we have Dragon Ball Daima. So a very high quality Dragon Ball show, finally. I know a lot of the episodes of Super were struggling with the animation, but yeah, here just like a beautiful Dragon Ball show, but they are babies. Why? Because yeah, that's something I didn't think it was like targeted towards me, because like it's probably like trying to lure in new Dragon Ball fans. The old boomers are probably not the target audience, but it is nice. There's like different lore bits. So we learn more about like other characters, races, Cybermen, Piccolo. So yeah, that's there. But yeah, the story is pretty much, you know, everyone gets like wished into babies. And now they have to like kind of go into the demon world, fight the demons, get the Dragon Balls, and, you know, turn them back into adults. Again, I didn't really like following these children because, you know, GT also did it. So it's not really a unique concept, but like I have to admit every episode has like an insanely good fight scene. And yeah, that's it for A tier. You know, let me know if you agree, disagree, if anything I'm missing. But with that, let's go to B tier. So here I'm gonna have like some like good kind of fantasy shows and also like some random other shows that are like decent but maybe had some flaws. So first we have Let This Grieving Soul Retire. A very fun kind of fantasy show. It's pretty much like if King from One Punch Man was like the leader of a clan, where like, you know, he's very weak, but you know, surprisingly he's very lucky, so things work out for him. He's surrounded by a lot of strong people, so he wants to retire. That's like the name of the show. A lot of like cool hot waifu characters, very like kind of funny story. It is a bit repetitive again, but there's also stuff that kind of takes you off guard. Also for B tier, we have 2.5D Seduction. So this is the continuation from last season. It was decent, honestly, you know, like cosplay fan service, it's there. I just thought the story was a bit too self-inserty, where the main character, like, he says a few things to the girls. They all have like some type of insecurity. He helps them, he fixes their problems. It's like he's being rewarded. I hate anime like that, but a lot of like harem type shows are like that, where the main character just like easily gets into situations, talks to girls, and fixes their problems. He's not like me for real. But yeah, pretty much cute show about cosplay. Explains different types of cosplay events and then, you know, competitions, legendary cosplayers, and then these high school girls kind of like achieving their dreams. Again, I think Dress Up Darling is better. You can fight me on that. Like the problems I did have was, yeah, like the harem and self-insertiness. Also at the same time, like, why are these high school girls doing erotic cosplays? Why did their manga club turn into a cosplay club? Why is this childhood friend like a hot model that's also thirsting for him? But yeah, you know, people describe it as like, you know, cosplay turned into a sports anime. There's a lot of like kind of high tension. So yeah, that's there. The bond between Rurisa and the main character is also like pretty wholesome. Also after that, we have Acro Trip for B tier. This is kind of described as gushing over magical girls, the PG version, because it's like very similar. We have like this purple haired main character. Her name is Dante. And then she's kind of in love with the magical girl. She like moves cities a lot, but when she like kind of sees a magical girl here, she's like, yeah, I want to stay here. So she finally finds purpose, and then her purpose is to make the magical girl shine. So that magical girl is Berry Blossom, but she's also like very inept at being a magical girl. She just uses brute force and doesn't really understand any situation. So the villains are really bad at doing their job, but then the magical girl is also very bad. So yeah, none of these characters really need to be here, but they're here. So it's like a funny situation. I thought the story was like nice. It does get a bit repetitive, but you know, just like a fun, unique concept, I guess. Also, we have Puniru is a cute slime for B tier. Kind of like a cute kitty show. It's like if the previous show was gushing over magical girls, this one is like Nokotan, the PG version. Because yeah, we have like this slime girl. She kind of wants to be called cute. She's kind of tormenting the main character in middle school, and then she can transform into a lot of things, do a lot of like chaotic stuff. So this anime is like very unserious, just like, you know, funny, wacky kind of comedy show. Also after that, we have You Are Miss Servant. The character design for Yuki is like amazing. I love her a lot, but yeah, the story is so bad. It's kind of like similar to like stuff like where a girl moves into the guy's apartment and then just like takes care of him. They're always the same. The guy always lives by himself and the girl's like the hottest girl ever. That's some type of like dramatic issue. Same here. Like if the maid is an assassin, pretty much, she has like nowhere to go after like her master died, I guess. So she moves into like this dude's house. Also after that, we have I'll Be the Villainess That Goes Down in History. So yeah, solid show. You know, all these Otome game shows kind of do something a bit different. A lot of them recently are going like parody style, with the villainess being like self-aware, but now she kind of wants to train, be strong, and do things her own way. But at the same time, they're also like fulfilling like a prophecy of being the villainess. So I hear the villainess, her name is Alicia, and she wants to be the best villainess, so she trains really hard in like everything, sword fighting, studying, magic. At the same time, she's being like a heroine. Like she's like actually like helping people, solving kingdom politics, all that shit. I liked how it doesn't really focus too much on the romance. The romance is there, but it's also like her doing her own thing, so yeah, that's cool. Also after that, we have Magical Mirror, Magical Girls Inc. This one's kind of like a funny, cool world. It's like similar to like modern society, where they compare magical girls to like a tech society job where there are startups, there's big companies. The startups kind of do it through passion. Yeah, very funny. Also a main character, she can't find a job, even though like she has a good memory. Like the people don't like her resume, no work experience. So yeah, I guess like very relatable actually. I liked it. But yeah, the main girl kind of coincidentally comes across a monster attack while she's interviewing, joins a magical girl startup company, and like, you know, becomes like a valuable member of it. We also have Demon Lord 2099 for B tier. You know, solid reverse isekai. Doesn't really do anything new, but you know, it's like a funny show. Also does like kind of modern stuff as well, like the Demon Lord trying to be a VTuber, trying to adapt to like this new technological society. So yeah, I mean, cool kind of like dystopian cyberpunk world, I guess. We also have Tonbo season 2 for B tier, so it's a continuation of the anime we had recently. So yeah, it's kind of underwatched, but yeah, I thought like a solid golf show. This season she kind of moves from the island, so now she's like fighting real golfers in mainland Okinawa and stuff. So yeah, her talent is growing. She's beating all these people and kind of making a name for herself. We also have Mecha Ude Mechanical Arms for B tier. It's like an okay show. It kind of reminds me of Saturday morning cartoons where it's like a bit childish. It's like a villain of the week thing. The main character is kind of like really weak, but then he like gets this strong power. So he spends the season kind of like getting stronger, learning how to control his power and stuff. At the same time, just like a lot of characters trying to help him. He's also like very nice. He doesn't want to kill anyone. He wants to save people. But no, I just thought it was okay. It had a really good animation. It looked good, but yeah, I thought the story was like a bit boring. Also, after that, we have Negative Positive Angler. It tells you about fishing, slice of life fishing show with some characters with sad backstories, pretty much. It's very chill, though. I liked it a lot. I thought the ending was a bit abrupt, but besides that, I think it's worth watching. And finally, for B tier, we have the most notorious talker runs the world's greatest clan. That's a mouthful, but yeah, surprisingly, I thought the show would be bad. It's like a decent, edgy fantasy show. Like, it's a bit too edgy, because, like, all the characters are very evil. So they make the main character sympathetic by making him getting wronged first. He doesn't swing first. Everyone else just wrongs him, and he just, like, gets revenge. So yeah, a lot of people he's working with just has, like, gambling debts. They're trying to rob and kill him and rip him off and stuff. So yeah, he's just like protecting himself. That's how they get away with it. They make the world a bit grim dark. So yeah, just like a lot of evil people he's attracting. Maybe it's because like he's doing it intentionally. He's like going to like the poor areas that are where people are struggling. So yeah, it's kind of like a problem of his own making. But basically with the world aside, just the premise is that the dude, he has like the talker skill, which is very weak. It's kind of like a support skill because he can't use it on himself, but he can like buff other people with his words. So this like hot kind of crazy waifu girl like joins his party, and they're both like really strong, but then a lot of people are stronger. So they're just like, you know, doing stuff, surviving in this world, and kind of growing their party. Also after that, we have C tier. So first off, I'll put Uzumaki here. Very unique show, a Junji Ito classic, but yeah, a lot of his works are unadaptable. So yeah, I mean, this one is kind of no different, even though the first episode was beautiful and it was only 4 episodes. So I thought, yeah, you know, just continue that quality. Apparently it went through like production hell. They like fired the director and shit, changed studios, like some crazy shit over there. So yeah, the first episode was beautiful. Second episode, one of the worst ones, very funny. Just like PNGs like getting dragged along the screen instead of running. The third and fourth episodes I thought were a bit better, but then yeah, still didn't reach the quality of episode 1. So yeah, it's like a bitter taste in your mouth. But you know, the experience was good. A lot of like kind of tension, body horror, so that's cool. And also at the same time, like the black and white feel is there. We also had it like towards October, Halloween. So, you know, great time to watch like spooky shows like that. But I can't really reward it because of all the funny but unfortunate production flaws. Also after that, we have Gun Gale Online Season 2. Kind of like a competitive shooter game, Sword Art Online version of like a cute girl main character. Other kind of feels like a shooting gacha, maybe like Girls Frontline 2 or something. But yeah, I guess it's like a gacha game with PvP. I thought it was okay. It was watchable, but also, you know, like nothing really sticks out. We also have 365 Days to the Wedding. I'll leave it at C tier, a bit controversial because, you know, it's just like a wholesome romance show. You know, how could it be so low? I just thought it was a bit boring. I mean, the concept is like 2 introverts like getting married randomly. Premise is very flimsy. Also, it's like it goes around in circles a lot. The characters are very shy. They try to talk to people, their parents. I just thought the story was like a bit annoying. But besides that, you know, it's not a terrible show, just like another wholesome seasonal romance show if you want to watch it. We also have the Aristocrat Appraisal anime, part 2 or season 2. I'm kind of surprised we got a core 2 this quickly. I thought this anime was decent. Like, it wasn't like terrible. It deals with a lot of like kingdom politics and stuff, a lot of like cute waifus. So yeah, it's not bad, but you know, it's just like another fantasy isekai that doesn't really stand out. We also have the do-over damsel conquers the dragon emperor. I was trying to like this show a bit more. I thought like, you know, strong main girl trying to like redo time, so it's like a time loop like fantasy show. I think the problem is like it goes a bit too hard into kingdom politics and it's kind of hard to care. Problems get solved like very conveniently. The main girl also has super strength. It's not really explained, but yeah, I think she's like a descendant of the god of war. We also have Soma Show for C tier. My wife is an elementary school student. It reminds me of something like My Wife Has No Emotion from the summer, where like the author kind of really didn't cook on the concept, but like it has like emotional moments that hit you sometimes. But yeah, here just like a lot of like sad people kind of like coping with life. Also, we have Ron Kaminohashi's Forbidden Delusions for C tier, so this is part 2 continuation. You know, it's just like a cool buddy cop show. Nothing too crazy, you know, like a funny, ridiculous story, but yeah, like these guys, they're detectives solving murders. And then finally, we have Tower of God Season 2, so this is the continuation. I thought the second half of Season 2 was better than the first half, but the story just becomes so bad. Stuff, I feel like they're skipping stuff, they're rushing. Like, a lot of stuff doesn't matter. I'll give you one example I didn't like, where Bam, he kind of gets kidnapped, and they're kind of like using him for a weapon, so they have to summon him from a summoning pool to like rescue him. But at the same time, he breaks free, so they don't really need to summon him. But then they still go through the effort of doing the summoning ritual, stuff like that. And the rest of the story isn't great. Villains are whatever. I did like seeing the characters reintroduced again, like Anak and Dorsey. So yeah, they were nice. But yeah, besides that, season 2 has been like very bad and uninteresting, in my opinion. So yeah, it's unfortunate because Tower of God has like really cool character designs, a unique type of story, and like the manhwa is like very popular. And also we have MF Ghost Season 2 for C tier. Kind of like an okay, car racing continuation. They don't really do too much here, just like more kind of races. There's some tension there with like, the characters trying to like win. You have to drive through the rain, stuff like that. So yeah, the music is decent. There's not really like too much story happening. And most of the female characters are just there for like fan service. But I guess if you like cars, the motherfucking ghost is pretty cool. And now for D tier, we have some isekais here. Ari Ferretta Season 3, Spirit Chronicles Season 2. Yes, both of these are not really worth watching. Just if you like fan service, Ari Ferretta is there. But Spirit Chronicles, why is there a Season 2? It's so bad. It's kind of like a Sword Art Online type of like fantasy show, I guess. Like main character, white hair, there's a harem of girls that are just like very young that he rescues. And then yeah, like they're fighting kingdom politics, stuff like that. Ari Ferretta is just like so ass. They kind of like go in with it. It's like, I guess, a bit self-aware. They're just going hard with all these fantasy races, doing stuff. The main character kind of helping these girls, and they're just like all over his dick. We also have Loner Life in Another World, another kind of like random shitty isekai. It's very bad. Also, we have Tying the Knot with an Amagami Sister. So I want to like this show. It's funny because it has like the same concept as Ranma One Half, where a dude kind of moves into a shrine and then has to marry one of the girls. So yeah, here they're kind of going the harem route. Also, they're doing like some like god shit where like the main character is kind of like an atheist, but then there's a lot of like kind of spiritual power in the shrine that like convinces him otherwise. But yeah, basically I want to like this because I do like kind of trashy romance shows like this, like a couple of Cuckoos as well. But this one I thought was like very ass, low quality animation, a bit generic with the story. Each girl can be summarized by one character trait, and the relationship is kind of bad. So, but I think there's gonna be more to it. Also, we have Nina the Starry Bride. I also want to like the show, but it goes hard with the kingdom politics, which is a bit boring. The main girl and the prince kind of suck. And then there's like this romance thing going on. You also have Terrified Teacher at Ghoul School. So it's gonna have 2 cores, but I thought it was like kind of like a forgettable like random comedy show. And now for F tier, we have Blue Lock Season 2. Unfortunate, bro. This production issue is a travesty. Because yeah, I feel bad because the studio, they had everything though. They had good voice acting, insane art. Like they cooked on the Nagi episode in specific as well, so that one had good animation. There was like the brotherhood battle between Rin and Sai, and then Isagi at the final episode doing some insane direct shot. Like it was very cinematic, slow motion, just boom. He kicked that shit. So that was also beautiful. Everyone like reaching their flow state. The story is nice and ridiculous. It has the same energy as the first season, but like the entire season was just unwatchable with everything else. It was hard to tell what was happening. The actual soccer action was bad. There was CGI at times, which was like fine, but like you put it all together, just like the anime felt unwatchable, which is unfortunate. Like you compare it to something like Blue Box, where there's like kind of good badminton animation in between like the character moments. But here, just like characters are like slipping through. We see like serious stuff where they're like evolving. So they're developing the soccer powers. Like the game is like pretty intense. But I feel like this has to be just like they don't have enough time for the anime because everything else about it, like the art, music, and voice acting was nice. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit surprising because season 1 popped off very hard. It was, released during the World Cup, also like grew in popularity. So you think the adaptation would have been good. But unfortunately, the jokes are there, frame lock, PNG lock. Probably take it out on the production committee that didn't give them enough time. Also, after that, we have Yakuza Fiance. I didn't like it. If you liked it, sure, kudos to you, but I'll describe why I didn't like it. So it's kind of like a romance show between like 2 members of different Yakuza families. One is in Osaka, one is Tokyo. So they kind of like make this arranged relationship to get married, so like the families can coexist, I guess. Similar to like Nisekoi type of story, but yeah, not as wholesome as Nisekoi at all. So yeah, these 2 characters instantly are like psychotic. Like the main girl's trying to live her life, but the dude is like a psychopath. He doesn't really understand human emotions. He's 17, but he seems like a 30-year-old like super killer. And then the way they make him like kind of not totally evil, like a bit morally gray, is that he's kind of like doing all these like kind of evil, shady things to help other people. He's like a necessary evil. So even though he's like fucking other women, he's doing it to get more information on them and help them. And he falls in love with the main girl because she doesn't really like fall for his charms. She's a bit intense. So yeah, I watched it all the way. Yeah, I just got put it in F tier. Also, we have some other shows in F tier. We have The Healer that was banished from his party, is actually the strongest. Very generic show. I feel like this title has been done like maybe 3 or more times, but yeah. They think healers are bad. They hate support characters, but healing is actually good. Who would have thought? Also, we have Kamiarabi God App Season 2. It's like a Platinum Men type of story with people fighting, becoming god candidates. It's really bad. I don't know why they're in Season 2, but Yeah, it's there. I watched a bit of it F tier. Yeah, that's it for the shows this season. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you agree, disagree. But yeah, overall, I thought there was like a lot of like forgettable shows here, like this season. Nothing really sticking out besides like, you know, the heavy hitters up top. Like you can literally watch all the S tiers, be done with it. You know, Dandadan, Bleach, I love them. If you're not an action guy, well, Dandadan has romance, Orb has story. ReZero and Beastars are like a good mix of action and emotional moments. And you know, A tier is very solid too. My dark horse this season was the witch anime where the girls couldn't be magicians. I loved it a lot. I thought it looked really beautiful. And you know, everything else in A tier is decent. So yeah, you know, let me know if you agree, disagree. And let's move on to the next one. All right, and now let's do the best openings this season. This is just like my opinion on like stuff, the songs that kind of stood out to me. Dandadan, I'll put in like a tier of its own. It was so addicting. A best song by Creepy Nuts. So it's called Otonoke. I mean, this one was a banger, you gotta admit. Besides that, a lot of other stuff I'll put in S tier. The Bleach opening and endings were both good. Opening was called Without Any Words by Psych Lounge. The Shangri-La Frontier opening was also good. It was called Queen by Lisa. The Tower of God opening was hype. I'll leave it in S tier. There's the Ranma 1/2 opening by Ano. I liked it as well, so I'll leave it in A tier. The Orb opening was nice. I'll also leave it in A tier. It was called Kaiju. Dragon Ball Daima had a good opening, so it was like very classic feeling. It was called Jaka-Jan. I'll leave it in A tier. And yeah, Beastar's opening was also very smooth. Kind of like a fun, feel-good singing. It was called Into the World. I liked it. There was the ReZero Season 3 opening. I'll leave it in A tier, called Reweave. Blue Box opening was pretty chill. It was called Same Blue. The Danmachi Season 5 opening was also like kind of hype and cool. And then the Blue Lock Season 2 opening was hype. Made by the same guy who did the first opening. So yeah, those are the A tier openings. S tier, there's a couple. And then yeah, Dandadan, my favorite song this season. So yeah, let me know if I missed any. I probably did for sure. But yeah, these ones kind of stuck out to me. And then finally, the tier list for the best waifus. This might be a bit long because yeah, there's a lot of female characters in these shows. But yeah, you know, I'm going to rate up all the girls from all the animes this season, or most of them. The ones that kind of stood out, you know, strong main girls, good side supporting characters, characters you want to protect. So yeah, I mean, in Dandadan, we had a lot of strong female characters. Like everyone is very colorful and unique. There's Momo, Ira, Seiko, and a Turbo Granny this season that kind of stood out. I mean, yeah, Momo's easy S tier. Her grandmother Seiko's also there. Turbo Granny's like very funny, but you know, she's a bit annoying. She's a villain. Gotta put her in B tier. Ira, she is annoying but fun. I'll put her in A tier. So that was like a mouthful. After that, we have the ReZero girls. So I think only Amelia really did a lot. There was also like some of the other princesses, like Priscilla. But yeah, I mean, Amelia is like kind of the carry this season. S tier, she was very good. Now we have Kyrie from Uzumaki, one of the main girls that's like trapped in this like cursed village. I mean, she's doing her thing, investigating, trying her best, and I guess I'll put her in S tier for being like a level-headed main character. In Bleach, we had Orihime, we had Yoruichi, and a lot of other like strong female characters. Even Shunsui's Bankai turned up. So yeah, I mean, they're all cool. In terms of representation, I think Yoruichi had like the biggest role in terms of like fighting and dialogue. So yeah, Yoruichi, strong girl, S tier. And now for Blue Box, there's Hina and Shinatsu, both kind of like sweet characters that are, you know, navigating this relationship. They're like solid A tier girls. Like they play a part in the story, but also like very shy, kind of like high school romance. There's also Freya from Danmachi, also Hestia from Danmachi. Both of them are here. Freya definitely C tier, gaslighting hoe, but Hestia, I did like her a lot, so I'll leave her in A tier. You know, she's doing nothing wrong, trying to protect Belle. And yeah, she did a lot this season as well. And Shangri-La Frontier, I think the main girl we see here is Saiger Zero, finally hanging out with Sunraku. So yeah, she's a strong Giga Chat in the game, but she's like very shy in front of Sunraku. It's kind of annoying. I'll leave her in B tier because yeah, her reluctance and her character is like very repetitive, but she is badass. We also have Yolenta from Orb. So yeah, also a good smart woman. Trying to like navigate through this world, do her research. It is kind of tough. I'll leave her in S tier for being like a cool character that's like standing up for herself. We also have Ranma from Ranma 1/2. Sometimes it takes a man to be the best girl. So yeah, I mean, he's strong, tough, and the female persona is like very cool. Akane's there as well. I'll leave them both in S tier. You know, it's like a cool, funny cast of characters. We also have Yuki from You Are Miss Servant. Yes, the maid waifu assassin. She's hot and shy and reluctant. Doesn't really know about the world. Doesn't really have too much agency, but she is hot. S tier. And now we have Yoshino from Yakuza Fiance. So yeah, I mean, she's also kind of like a savage girl that wants to like stand up for herself. She like grills the main character. I'll leave her at A tier. Like, it's not her fault that the main dude's kind of like a psychopath, so hopefully things work out for her, but you know, maybe it does. We also have Karen from Gun Gale Online, so a cute pink main girl. I'll leave her in A tier, you know, main character of the story. And then we have Tino from Let This Grieving Soul Retire. I'll also put her in S tier. I liked her, just like strong character supporting the main dude. And then she seems to be like a normal person, but yeah, all these other people around her are very crazy. So I liked her a lot. We have Toka from Loner Life in Another World. She's like the student council president and trying to like maintain order in this like isekai world with all the classmates. So, none of the characters are super deep. I guess I'll just like leave her in B tier. And now we have Pansy from Dragon Ball Daima. So a new character. All his characters are very young. Wally, I mean, she's a demon, so you know her age is unknown. But it's kind of like this young demon little girl, it looks like. So as she's doing things, the gang kind of picks her up and they're traveling together. I guess I'll put her in B tier. And now we have Alma from the most notorious Talker anime. She is hot. S tier for being hot, I guess. No, I'll put her in A tier because she's kind of crazy. So yeah, put some points down. We have Rika from 365 Days to the Wedding. I liked her, kind of like a monotonous, introverted girl. And you know, it's like funny to see how shy they are. So yeah, I'll leave her in B tier. We have N. Dorsey from Tower of God. So finally, yo, the characters are back. She was hot. I liked her. Very strong personality. And yeah, she did a lot this season. So yeah, I'll put her in S tier. And now we have Alicia Williams from the Villainous anime. She's trying to go down in history. So she's very tough, you know, studying, sword fighting, learning magic, like being the overpowered main character. But it's kind of cool. I liked her. I'll leave her in S tier for, you know, just like having a lot of agency, being strong. There's Charlotte Race from the Appraisal Isekai Part 2, Season 2. She was hot. Hot mage waifu. S tier. There's Makina from Demon Lord 2099. Kind of good supporting girl. Like, she's devoted to the Demon Lord. She's like struggling, living in poverty, but you know, she's staying positive. So yeah, I guess I'll put her in S tier. We have Jill from the Do Over Damsel anime. So yeah, kind of like a young girl that's like super strong. Gets revived and tries to marry the Dragon Emperor. So yeah, she's doing it. She's okay, like very strong, can solve her own problems. Also, the story was a bit weird. I'll put her in A tier. And now we have the Amagami sisters. They're all like very funny, had their own personality. I liked Asahi because she had the most agency. Like the main girl, Yuna, kind of hates the main character. So yeah, I mean, she was annoying. And yeah, I was kind of like the absent-minded bubbly girl. So yeah, I mean, all of them are fine. Let's put them in B tier. And now we have Selena from Goodbye Dragon Life. Snake waifu, I guess. Put her in A tier. And now we have Takai from Sumasho. This is the adult version that died, not the kid version. I guess she's okay. I mean, like, the family could not live without her, so she must have been perfect. So I guess I'll put her in A tier. There's Hana from Negative Positive Angler. She was, like, a very funny girl that loved fishing. Had some big fluffy hair. So I'll leave her in A tier, kind of like solid girl in the anime. There's Aki from Mecha Ude Mechanical Arms. She's kind of very tough and hard-headed, but also likes to eat sweet things. You know, solid main girl, I'll leave her in A tier. There's Nina from Nina and the Starry Bride. She's like kind of like a young girl that needs to be protected. She's like living as a fake princess in this harsh world and, you know, trying to navigate through things. I guess I'll leave her in A tier. We do have Kana from Machilamir, so she's part of like the magical girl industry. Very smart girl, I'll leave her in S tier. Trying to stay positive, solve things, get a job, and it's like stuff is working out for her. We also have Berry Blossom and Date Chisco from Acro Trip. These girls are very inept. So yeah, funny magical girl show, but kind of like dumb characters. I guess I'll put them in C tier. We also have Kurumi from The Story of Girls Who Couldn't Be Magicians. I love following her. She's trying to accomplish her dreams of being a magician. Hopefully it works out for her. So yeah, I'll put her in S tier. And we also have Puniru from Puniru's the Kawaii Slime. She's a bit annoying, I guess, but she can transform into things. I'll leave her in C tier. And we also have Tonbo from Tonbo. I mean, this is her anime. Strong girl, gotta put her in S tier for, you know, like being just like a cool golfer. And we also have Rurisa from 2.5D Seduction. I mean, she's doing more cosplays. Cosplaying as the same girl though. Like, I know you like Liliel, but can you do something else? I guess she's okay. Put her in B tier. And then there's Haru from Beastars. Didn't really do too much this season, but yeah, she's there. She kind of talks about like the delicate nature of interspecies couples and, you know, is living her life in college. So I guess I'll put her in A tier. So that's it for the waifu tier list. Hopefully I didn't miss any, but yeah, these are like some of the main girls from like the main animes this season. I mean, Dandadan had an insane lineup of female characters, and it's kind of like a trend where like these action shonen shows are actually getting like a strong cast of female characters that actually contribute to the fights. So that's cool. But yeah, I went over this list kind of quickly, but yeah, yapping about all the girls in the anime. And yeah, with that, thank you for watching the video. All the tier lists are completed. It's like the seasonal anime review wrap up for the fall season. 2025, we're gonna have some more cool shows. Sakamoto Days, I'm looking forward to it. Another Shonen Jump anime that's hype. New Dr. Stone continuation. Apothecary Diaries season as well. That's gonna be insanely good. So I can't wait to see Mama do more adventures. There's a new solo leveling season. I mean, it's gonna be filled with a lot of like edgy hype action probably. And yeah, I'll see you later. You know, feel free to subscribe. If you want to see more of my stuff, I'm gonna make more videos in the winter anime season. So yeah, hopefully it's exciting because yeah, I do love watching anime, talking about it, and if the stories are good and interesting, unique, then it gives me just more stuff to talk about. So yeah, peace. I hope you enjoyed the fall season.